Hey there, retro games fans. This is Andy C from Pieces of 8-Bit. Somewhat injured, sort of injured. What happens when you get into your 40s is that sometimes you go to sleep at night and you're perfectly fine, and you wake up in the morning and you're injured, and it lasts for weeks. So what happened was I went camping to Scotland on our little road trip to the National Museum of Scotland. Check out my video. Shameless plug. Woke up in the morning on the last day in absolute agony, and I'd hurt my shoulder, and it had actually got better, and I was okay, and then I tweaked it again whilst I was asleep, and then I was right back to square one. So I'm in a sling at the moment. Annoyingly, I think I've got a trapped nerve, so my left thumb is a bit numb, which is a real nuisance actually. That's the thing that's most annoying, because when I'm playing games, obviously I need this for the left stick, so it feels a bit weird. But yes, I'm all fine, so don't worry, I haven't broken an arm or fallen down the stairs. I just literally went to sleep and woke up injured. Sometimes I really hate being in my 40s, but there you go. So today we're going to be reviewing The Getaway. So this will be the newest game that I've reviewed so far. It's a game that came out on the PlayStation in 2002 from Team Soho, which is a Sony-owned game studio. It's a sort of London gangster game set in London itself. Beautiful attention to detail, so actually it delayed the game, so they wanted to get it right. And for those of you who know London reasonably well, you will recognise a lot of the scenery, obviously rendered in 2002 graphics, but it is really actually quite an impressive feat. And one of the things that I remember from the game is that I struggled to I recognise bits of London, so I don't live in London, so I recognise bits of London usually where I emerge from the tube station. So driving around London is not something I've done a lot of. I've done a little bit of it, but I generally get quite lost, and that's a good thing. It feels quite alive, and unlike Grand Theft Auto, certainly the earlier games, there's a lot of cars, you kind of get stuck in traffic. It's really cool. The cars are quite interesting actually, because they had a deal, I think, with MG Rover Group, so there's loads of Rover SD1s driving around, and Rover, you sort of have a Rover 75. It's before Rover went bust. The Rover SD1 was a car that was popular in the 1980s, so it's quite cool to see them driving around, even if it's a little unrealistic. So yes, this game was accused of being a bit of a GTA clone, and I can definitely see why. It's a lot grittier, I would say, than Grand Theft Auto. It doesn't necessarily have the same sort of humour factor. You play two different characters. You play a sort of an ex-gangster who's trying to get out of the job, and you play a police officer later in the game as well. So that's quite cool. It is insanely difficult. There are very few checkpoints in the missions, and I'm not ashamed to admit that I rage quit after about 5 missions. I just could not do one of the missions, and I was just like, you know what? I am going to stop right there, because otherwise I'm going to properly lose it. So yes, I brought back some of the less fond memories from that era of gaming, where the controller might end up thrown across the living room. It was on a wire, so I didn't go all that far, but yeah, it is definitely a frustrating game at times. But it's really good. It's got a really good story. Like I said, it's quite serious. There was some controversy over a torture scene in it, one of which I think I know what scene they're referring to. Which actually led to it being banned in Australia. So you know, that even by modern standards is a little bit dark. Having said that, Grand Theft Auto absolutely went there, and then some more. So later on, in fact, I think there's a mission in GTA 5 where you actually are in control of the torture. So it really is quite dark there as well. So a really good game. I think it's a missed opportunity in terms of a franchise. So there were a couple of others. So there was The Getaway Black Monday, which was the sequel, and then there was a third installment, which was a spin-off, and there was also a it was Black Monday was the sequel, and then Gangs of London was the spin-off, and in fact there was actually a TV series called Gangs of London on which this is based. There was talk of a Getaway 3, that never really happened, and I think that's a real shame, because I think, you know, when you look at the power of Grand Theft Auto and the sort of cultural mark that made, this was a franchise that lasted a relatively short amount of time and then fizzled out, which is a real shame. So yeah, really great game. Interesting control mechanics for, you know, it's a game from 2002, so not massively surprising there. So yeah, let's dive in. I'm going to do the first mission again, It sort of sets the scene a little bit of the game and doesn't give too much away about what's happening, and it's also a mission that I think I can probably complete in one go, and those are absolutely famous last words, but hopefully it's a mission I can complete in one go, and just sort of show you. One word of warning, for those of a more delicate disposition, there is a lot of swearing in this and a lot of violence, so please be warned. I am going to try and beep out some of the swearing. I don't know how successful that's going to be because I've got to spot it all. So I apologise in advance if some swearing accidentally comes out. But this might not be one for those of a gentler disposition, shall we say. This was quite a violent game, and yeah, very, very colourful language, shall we say. So let's dive straight into the game. I'm going to go and lose the sling now and get the PlayStation 2 fired up. I'll need a PlayStation 2 for this one, because I don't have a launch PS3, so I can't play the PS2 games on there, so I need to go and get all that set up, and I will be right back with you for the gameplay. See you then. So here we go. This is the Getaway. Yeah, I love watching this, but I love the soundtrack and the vibe of this game. It's so cool, especially in 2002. You know, you've got Grand Theft Auto 3, which is again very similar sort of vibe, but this is just sort of got that, I don't know what it is. Like I mentioned before, that sort of Guy Ritchie feel about it in terms of, you know, like things like Lock, Stock, 2 Smoking Barrels, Snatch, those kind of movies. So yeah, we're going to dive into the game. So I'm going to, I think probably, oh yes, now you can see I've already completed a number of the missions. This is the one that I just was absolutely struggling with. So if I go all the way back here, so you can see here you play either Mark Hammond, who's the sort of the guy getting out of the job, or you play DC Carter somewhat later in the game. So different perspective from the point of view of the police. One slight weird inconsistency is that the police all seem to carry guns in London, which is obviously not accurate at all, but it would be a bit rubbish if you were turning up with an automatic rifle and they only had their little truncheons. I think that would probably not really be particularly fun to play, and it would be a little unfair for the police in this game as well. So just to even things up, the police are generally quite armed, especially as the pressure increases. The other thing as well with the police in this game is that if you're on the wrong side of the road, or you crash into another car, or you're caught speeding, they will chase you. So unlike in Grand Theft Auto, where you can pretty much, short of running someone over, then yes, they are a lot stricter, and they will chase you. But they do get sort of incapacitated.
Special people with special jobs. She used to be on the game until she found her true calling.
So let's watch a little bit of this start intro sequence. Will give you a bit of a clue as to what's going on.
Never see it coming from a bird.
What? She's a topper?
Oh yeah, mate. She's not the slightest bit squeamish about a bit of claret.
What the fuck do we need someone like that on a job like this? It's meant to be a simple frightener. We pick up the bird, we pick up the kid, and we take him to Charlie.
You going soft eyebrows? Getting scruples, mate? Don't you know things have an habit of getting complicated?
Complicated? What can be complicated about picking up some bird and a kid?
For some of our American friends, whether they need subtitles. I know sometimes some of the expressions in this even I struggle with, not being from London, but I do love the sort of East End vibe this game has.
Shut it, here they come. Right, let's do the business then.
Watch and learn something. You move when I tell you to move. We'll wait till they've locked the door. The first
I think you'll agree that the production value, the music score on this is just absolutely brilliant. It's just got the right vibe about it.
Transaction? Christ, what a bitch.
Your dad told me you might be captain of the squad this year. I'm proud of you then, eh?
Mrs. Hammond, could we have a word? We've got a few questions we'd like to ask you.
Yeah? Who's asking?
We'd like to discuss this in private if we could.
You're not the police. Since when the police start dressing like common tarts?
You bitch! Run out! Get him in the car! Move!
Here's our protagonist.
Suze!
Idiots! Bloody amateurs!
Come on, get in the car, quick! Suze!
Get off me! Put me down!
I'm going to assure you, for anybody who doesn't know, from 2002, the number of Rover 75s and SD1s that you'll see around London is utterly unrealistic. It's definitely that sponsorship element sticking through there. But you know, it doesn't detract from any of it really. And yeah, I've got an Alfa Romeo, so straight into the game now. So I'm going to have to go and keep up with these crooks that have just shot my wife and taken my my son. Now, first thing you'll notice is that there is no map. So there's no sat nav. But you'll see as I come up to a junction. There you go. So I'm indicating there, and I've already crashed into everything. Now, if I get caught crashing into things, the police will chase me. If I can just miss the turning. That little Punto though, it's not one of those.
Stop! I need your details!
Details. There's a lot of concentration here. That's the reason why I've gone a bit quiet. Oh, trash. Oh no, where am I going to go? Up the curb. Okay. I think that's them on the right hand side there, so that's cool. Keeping up with them. Trying not to get caught by the police when I'm at it. This is the quietest you've ever been on your videos.
Stop! You can't do that!
It can be a bit of it. I do wonder whether, certainly with this method of navigation, just sticking your blinkers on, your indicators on to identify where you're going. Sometimes in games, it doesn't always pick the best route. I mean, in a car chase, obviously it makes sense because you can just follow the car and where the indicator suggests you're going is where the car's gone, but other ones where you've sort of got to go to a location, I do wonder if it's the best route. Sometimes you find yourself almost in concentric circles trying to reach your destination. Okay. Nearly there actually. Thankfully I haven't seen any police yet, and I do wonder actually, because it's the first mission, whether there's a reason for that. We're going to speak too soon now, because Rover up there, classic Range Rover. Quite a few of those in this game as well, I think. You'll probably agree if you've played. Okay. When you consider the age of this game as well, and the attention to detail is absolutely fantastic. And you know, it is very recognisable as London. It's not like they've sort of. I don't know how much poetic licence there is in terms of how it's used, but it is definitely pretty accurate. I think. There we go. Right, here we go. So it'll blink like that when you've reached your destination. So here we are. So
there it is.
There we go. The controls are slightly different from GTA, which is kind of catches you out occasionally if you're a GTA fan. So it's circle to get out, in and out of the car. The fire is L1 to lock on, and then square to fire, which catches you out. I'm just over here, so you may recognise from Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. This on the left here is where the taxi place is, for those of you who know the film, and on the right is where all of our sort of main, in inverted commas, heroes are, where they plot to their heist. Yeah, I think it's quite cool, and I don't know if that is on purpose or not. Alright, so if I square to draw my gun, and then what I'm going to do... Oh, here we go. Alright, it's gone quiet, so why am I not locking on here? Right, okay. The guy's going to come out on the top left now. It's a quick lock feature like you have in Grand Theft Auto, and you can see now my health is low because I'm limping around. One thing I forgot initially is that there is a solution to this, which is if I walk up to this wall here, like this, I'll just lean on the wall. And of course, as everybody knows, leaning on a wall is the best way to heal yourself. So I'm just going to have a little rest on the wall then, and all the gunshots that I've received to my body will mysteriously disappear. But it is important to try and do that from time to time because this game is really, really difficult otherwise. Right, okay, so what am I looking onto? X to hide. Just do a little. There we go. The cover mechanism is weird. It sort of works okay. Sometimes it can be a little bit. Oh, that's problematic. Oh, now I'm really injured again now, but mainly because I got shot in the back with a shotgun, which will tend to put a crimp in your day. Alright, so I'm just going to have a long old rest on this wall here. Yeah, first time I played this back, I forgot that this is something that you could do. And therefore, I died a lot of times because I didn't realise that I could actually recover. And I seem to recall there being a way to do it, but I couldn't remember exactly. And then I suddenly found myself leaning on a wall in one of the later missions. Oi, it really was close to death there. That's a long old rest. Okay.
We're coming for you, Hammond.
Try getting past me then.
What?
Unlucky, eh?
Oh, I didn't know him coming around. Oh, hello. I don't remember any of these guys appearing before. I don't think I came down this way. Anything in here for me? Anything fun? No. Oh, hello. Did I not shoot you already? I need another rest now. Another little rest. There we go. Another little rest. So obviously at this point in the game, obviously I've chased them through the streets of London. And I'm now looking for my son who's been kidnapped. What the heck? I don't remember this many people in here. That seems like they've all come out of the... Maybe there's some more that I won't have to shoot later on. Maybe it's harder because I've done this mission already before. Alright. Other things as well, unlike in GTA where you can carry multiple weapons at the same time, in this game you're only going to be carrying one. Oh, that was lucky. Yeah. You're only going to be carrying one weapon at a time. So once you run out, you just default back to your handgun. If you find another handgun, you'll have two, which is definitely an advantage. So definitely try and go and pick the guns up if you see them. Right. Okay. I think quite a lot of the guys that I had there came out and from their little hidey holes. So I think I've actually killed a lot of the people that you would ordinarily encounter on the way. All right, where are we going? Oh, I've got to make myself feel dizzy now. Right, I know where I've got to go, so I don't know why I'm running around like this. I'm just checking that there's nothing I've missed. Not lots of things to pick up and collections of things and other bits and pieces, so you don't need to worry about kind of exploring everywhere. Obviously, it can be quite nice too if you want to. Now, if I remember rightly, there's some more guys up here, so I'm just going to have a little rest. Have a little rest. Do I need a little rest? I do need a little rest. Hopefully just a little rest. Yep, being shot will do that. Oh, there's a lot of beer there. Making me want a beer. Right, there's some guys up the top of the stairs here. Very dark. I don't know if this has got to do with... I'm not sure if this has anything to do with the fact that it's coming through the
How you feeling
now? Yeah, coming through the... I can't remember the name. Retroscaler. That's it. I think it does make things a little bit darker, but I do seem to remember this game being quite dark not figuratively speaking, just actually in light terms. Oh, hello. That's a useful trick as well. Sometimes you can just clobber people over the back of the head if you want to keep yourself quiet. That sort of any kind of stealthy missions you'll do that way as well.
I'll cover you.
This is it.
Okay. Sorry, apologies for going quiet all the time. I am actually concentrating. Oh dear. You see, imagine trying to do this, but having never actually realised that you could actually recover your health. That's how I did this mission the first time, and I did actually complete it, I might add. You do have to come back here later, actually, so it's good to sort of memorise where everything is, because there's another mission that you have to do here later on, which is quite important. And it's amazing how quickly I've done this, because I'm pretty sure I'm at the end of this mission already. So the first time I did it, it took me ages because, like I said, I didn't know how to recover my health. So I just died loads of times. Okay, here we go. So that's pretty much the first mission. So now we're going to find out a little bit more about what Mark's expected to do.
Johnson, you bastard!
Yeah, it might be very dark, but you get the idea of what's going on.
I think he's with us again.
I think for 2002, the graphics aren't too bad. I mean, it's
Good to see you again.
It's very much
You look a little drowsy.
not
Grievous.
massively
Bring
different to
the boy
GTA,
around.
I don't think, for the same
Always
time.
undivided attention.
I don't know if you remember, for those of you who've seen
Where's my son,
Lock
you
Stock,
fat bastard?
you got
Patience, Mark, my boy.
I can't remember, it's Harry something, the main boss,
Tell me where my son is, you better kill me
who
now.
sells adult
Anyway,
merchandise,
the
shall we
great
say,
old
from his shop.
Stop talking and start listening.
This guy
Adam.
reminds
You're
me
in
of
no position to make any
the
demands.
sort of
This is all
the
about
goon
Charlie.
that he has. The
Thought you'd
guy,
retired.
the actor actually was
You
an
know what,
ex-boxer.
I'm not with the Collins' gang anymore.
Very much reminds me
You
of
know
that.
I'm running a nightclub. I've been out nearly 2 months and I'm not in the life. I don't do this shit anymore!
Relax, son. You'll do yourself an injury.
I'll do you an injury, Charlie. I'll fucking swear I'll kill you.
Some more of that
Eyebrows.
colourful language.
Eyebrows. Make the boy
All adds
listen.
to the ambience, of course.
Can you hear me? Are you listening now, Marky boy? Put him in the chair.
Okay, all right. Let's leave it there then. So it's going to leave Marky in the chair. Basically, the premise of this, as you can imagine, it's pretty predictable. Ultimately, they've killed his wife, as you saw at the beginning, or his partner, and they've kidnapped his boy. And as leverage, obviously, they're now going to use Mark to essentially do jobs, despite the fact that he's out. It's a pretty classic story, really. That's it. I'm out of the game. You can't do anything about it. Then I have some the boss guy has some leverage because the guy's obviously the protagonist is usually pretty good at his job. So so that's the premise.
You getting my drift?
There you go. Yeah, do what I say, otherwise the kid dies.
Exactly what
That's
I
the
say.
premise. And so, you know what now happens is you're going to go off and you're going to do a whole bunch of missions for him, and at some point you're going to switch to DC Carter. And you're going to see it from the point of view of the police trying to work out what the hell's going on as London descends into chaos. So yeah, let's go back and wrap this up, and I'll tell you a little bit more about what I thought and whether I think you should go and give this game a go.
His wife. You left the murder weapon behind at the scene. You're a convicted bank robber. Do you think the filth are gonna believe you?
Okay, so welcome back. What did you think of that? I personally really like that game. I'm a big fan of the 1990s Guy Ritchie movies, not least Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, which I spoke about before, which is this game just feels like Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, the the video game almost, really. It is good. I love the sort of gritty East End vibe of the game. I love the sort of that idea, that London gangster theming of the game. It's really good, and I love the whole setting is just really, really good. So it is quite an old game, so graphically, it's looking a bit dated now, but I still think it looks pretty good, and it's definitely still very playable. There are some little criticisms, I think, which undoubtedly would have been criticisms at the time as well. It's pretty unforgiving if you wreck your car, if you're in a car chase. Inevitably, if you're in a car chase, the police will also chase you anyway, regardless of whether you're shooting at someone or someone's shooting at you. It doesn't really matter. The police don't care. They will chase you down, and your car gets trashed quite easily. Once you get out of your car and try and find another car, it can be a real challenge. Sometimes you just get overwhelmed by the number of bad guys, and you sort of have to kind of come in and go out and come in and go out a few times. Also, I think there's just not enough guidance to ease you into the game. So, Grand Theft Auto, for those of you familiar with the game, quite often you'll know that when you start, it sort of eases you in. So San Andreas, for instance, you kind of ride around on a bike for a little bit. You do a couple of kind of take this person here and drop them there. A few like really simple missions just to kind of get you used to the control scheme and how the game plays, and it sort of brings that into the story, so it doesn't feel too jarring. You don't feel like you're doing a tutorial. So I actually really like that. I like the way that the difficulty in Grand Theft Auto kind of ramps up quite sensibly. So there's enough challenge in the game all the time. Whereas this game, it's challenging from the get-go, and you have no idea. I mentioned before about not being able to recover your health. I had no idea about that. It doesn't tell you that. It doesn't say if you lean on a wall you can recover your health. It doesn't say press R2 to lock on and square to fire. It doesn't say press circle to get in a car. It doesn't do anything like that. It's supposed to be quite cinematic. I think that's the reason why they've done it that way. Obviously, like I said, you don't get your sat-nav and things like that, but to be honest with you, I would actually quite like to see some of those things in the game. It just would really help to ease you into it. But once you get the hang of it, it is really good fun. And like I say, it is very, very challenging. The mission that I'm on at the moment, I just got completely stuck, and actually at one point I was like, you know what, I'm not going to review this game. It annoyed me so much. I'm like, I'm not going to review it, forget it, I'll do a different game for this week. But actually, on reflection, I did really want to show this game to you, because for those of you who've not played it before, it is a really great game, but you have got to have the patience of a saint. It's good if you get stuck on a mission, kind of leave it, go away, do something else, come back later on, and maybe go and have a look at some walkthroughs if you're really, really stuck. There is no shame in that. There is also no difficulty setting either, so it's not even like you can crank it down to easy just for one mission or anything like that. It's just, it is what it is. So should you go play it? If you've got a PlayStation 2, go play it. It's quite difficult to play on different platforms. I don't believe it was re-released anywhere else, so you've got to play it on a PS2. If you've got a launch PS3, then you'll be able to play it on there. You can pick it up quite cheaply for a game that I think is actually now really one of Sony PlayStation 2's classics, certainly in the UK. You can pick it up for about £4, so definitely go and track one down. If you own the game but not the PlayStation, you might be able to go and find an emulator somewhere that will play it. But if you have an opportunity to go play this game, I can definitely recommend giving it a shot. I don't think it's on PlayStation Network on the premium service. I'm not sure. I don't recall seeing it, but that'd be a great one. Sony, if you're listening, which of course you're not, that would be a great one to put for us to have another look at again. But you can still pick a PS2 up relatively cheaply as well. So if you've still got a PS2 in service, or you fancy this and a few other games, go and have a look, see if you can find an old PS2 somewhere to have a go on. But yes, it's an 18. The only thing I would say really, last thing, is that it's an 18 for a reason. I would argue it's even a little darker than GTA, so it's very worthy of its 18 certificate. Even in this day and age, the language is especially colourful. But it is incredibly violent, as you just saw from the first mission that I did there. So yes, obviously be wary of that. I apologise in advance. I have tried to edit out some of the F-bombs in there for some of our more delicate-eared listeners. But I apologise if any slip through. I have done my level best to try and remove those, but obviously I can't remove the violence aspect of the game because that is largely a large part of it. So you know, take that as my warning for it. So yeah, great game. Go check it out. Be prepared to be very patient. Read the instructions on the controls for sure, because it won't come naturally to you. It's not the same as GTA. So yeah, that's it. So that's my review of the Getaway on PlayStation 2 from Team Soho 2002. So that's probably it for today. So next time I'm going to be looking to do a console review. So I will reveal all a bit later on. Well, I'll reveal it in the video. You'll get to see it if you watch the video. You'll see which console I'm going to be looking at. I did a bit of a count the other day. I've got a lot. I've got plenty. Put it that way. I've got plenty of consoles to review. I am also going to be looking at the new Evercade at some point as well when that comes out at the end of August. So if you're watching this, I think it's probably, I don't think what date this will be out. It'll be around the time this video comes out that the new Evercade VSR comes out. So that's going to be something I'm also going to want to look at, and there may be an unboxing and review of that later on, but that's going to be a little way off yet. So I'm going to be looking to review an old console, and from the perspective of 2024 eyes, if you like. So keep an eye open for that one. Please do go check out my other videos as well. Go and check out my Asus ROG Ally X review, which I did last week, if you're interested in that, following the unboxing video that I did. I am rambling. I do this every time, so I am going to sign off now. If you do enjoy these videos, you know what I'm going to say. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons down there somewhere. I do appreciate it. I've seen lots of new subscribers, relatively speaking, for my channel recently, and every single one it brings a smile to my face. So I appreciate your support, and thank you to those of you that have been watching so far. And that's it, I think. So until the next time, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you around.